How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
You are
And
welcome. Yeah.
what is your name?
Well, my name is Dorika.
Dorika?
Yes,
Or
Dorika. You
oh,
can call me Dorika.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
I'm from India,
Great. Which part of India?
eastern part of India.
Wonderful.
Yes.
I've never been to India, but I really need to go.
Well,
So
yeah, you are most welcome.
wonderful. My name is Alicia. It's very nice to meet you. I will be helping you practice your English today. So
Okay.
remember, if you have any questions or problems, don't forget to let me know.
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, sure, Elisa. Even if you
Uh,
find any issue with my speaking or pronunciation or anything else, so please feel free to give me the feedback.
of course, not a problem.
Yeah.
And what do you do?
So I work as a software engineer in India.
hmm What type of software do you usually work with?
So I work for the cloud softwares.
hmm
Like we have the Amazon Cloud and Google Cloud. So I work
hmm
for the cloud softwares.
And how long have you been doing your job?
It's been 6 years.
6 years. Do
Yes.
you like it so far?
Yeah. As of now, it's going good. Like if you see the information technology sector, every now and then we need to upgrade. You
hmm
must be seeing the technology is changing very fast. So
Exactly.
yeah, to sustain in our industry, we need to have that learning attitude and keep doing the work.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, especially in the software department because nothing is ever the same, especially now. A
Yes.
lot of things are, we could say, rapidly advancing.
Yes.
Right?
True.
So, what is the biggest challenge that you face in your job?
Yeah. So that is one of the thing. Like every now and then we need to update ourselves with the latest technology, and not only theoretically but practically also we need to implement it. So
Mhm.
that's where that is one of the challenge every software engineer has in his job profile.
Exactly. I know a lot of my previous students, they always say people as well in the department are sometimes difficult to work with
Yes.
um,
Yes.
because it's hard to compromise or find common ground. It's
Yes.
very difficult.
True.
So, do you have the same issue as
Yeah.
well?
Yes. Yes. That will be the also. I mean, coming to the software industry, if you see, the companies are globalized, so you need to work with people from different country. So you need to have a proper professional relationship as well as the communication.
Mhm. And at work, do you get along with all of your colleagues?
Sorry.
Do you get along with all of your colleagues?
Get along in the sense.
So, to get along means to have a good relationship with. So, for example, me, I don't get along with my brother.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I
um,
mean that is one of the very important thing. I mean, when we are working as a team, so we need to have proper collaboration and proper bonding, and we need to prove that we are not doing any individual work. We are putting
mhm.
entire team effort uh, in that project. So that needs to be reflected.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially in the software department, there's a lot of things
Yes,
that
yes.
need to
One
be put
single person
together.
cannot do anything. He has to rely upon someone else. So because he cannot learn everything. And
Exactly.
yeah.
I know I did. So, in software, do you work with actual programming or what type of
Yeah,
software?
I work with actual programming. Yeah.
The programming.
So
What language do
if
you usually use?
if you go more technical, it's scripting and it's Python
Scripting.
scripting. Yeah.
Mhm. Python. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, we did a lot of programming as well, but we only worked with
C,
Java
Java. Okay.
and a little C++ as well,
Yeah,
but
C++.
not Python.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they are still being used in this industry. C++
Mhm.
and Java, they are those programming languages are considered as one of the base language. I mean, most of the products are being developed using those languages.
Also Python, I've heard it's very
Yes,
popular
yes,
as well.
Python is very popular. Entire YouTube is running on Python.
Exactly. I remember one day I went onto Google to search all the programming languages that exist.
Yes,
There are hundreds.
yes,
there,
yes,
there are so many. People are just developing new languages every
yes,
day.
yes. And the
Um,
trending language, if you see, it's Golang from Google and Python. It's
mhm.
currently trending.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Once again, pleasure to meet you. Uh, our focus for today is going to be great for you, and because it's on giving very technical explanations. From what I've noticed so far about you,
Yeah.
you're quite technical and you're very good at giving technical explanations. Um, so it's going to be a fun lesson, and I think I'm going to learn a lot from you as well.
Same to you.
So I look forward to it. Can you read our objectives for today?
Well, the session objectives are practice explaining, suggesting, obliging, describing, forbidding, and simplifying. Express a
Perfect.
sequence of events.
Excellent. So we're going to practice how to do some of these actions, as well as how to talk about a process or a sequence of events.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of the word obliging?
Obliging in the sense we are, I mean, whenever we would like to thank someone, we say that
Yes,
uh,
we say, I'll
we are,
oblige or
I'm
I'll oblige you.
obliged to you.
Um, Excellent. But here, more in the sense that obliging is doing something that you must do, something that you have to do.
Okay,
All right.
okay,
It comes from the word like an obligation. Okay.
okay.
So an
Obligation.
obligation is something that you have to do, something people expect you to do. So obliging in the sense something that you need to do. Okay.
Okay.
Um, what about the word forbidding?
Forbidding, forbid, it comes from the word, I think, forbid,
Mhm.
where if I don't want to, if I don't want someone to do something, then I'll say that I will forbid him to do that work.
Excellent. In your job position, what are you forbidden to do?
So we are
What?
forbidden to do any non-technical work or any other technical work that is not relevant to our project.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And is it a problem in your department? Do people stick to the project or do they go off track a lot?
Most of the time we try to stick with the project, but some of the other time when we try to explore something new, so at that time we get the opportunity to work with other teams, and
Mhm.
we follow some kind of programs of like 2 or 3 days where engineers can get into some other task, or they can think something out of box and suggest to the company. Yeah.
One thing I've learned is that software developers and software engineers are very curious. They have a very curious nature,
Yeah.
especially with technical aspects. So,
Yes, they
um,
will have to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's understandable if you go off track sometimes because you want the challenge, the new
Yes.
challenge.
Yes.
Exactly.
And we need to have the
Um,
expertise in single thing that we are working out, else it will be like jack of all trades and master of none. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. What's the most difficult project that you have worked with?
So I had worked with one of the project where, I mean, it was related to some cybercrime. So where we need to find out uh, someone who is doing some fraudulent activity on the network. So that was one of the biggest challenge, and that project was quite tough for me.
And what made it tough for you? What were some of the obstacles
Yeah,
for you?
so to be I mean, in cybercrime we say it as a white hat and black hat. So
Mhm.
you need to have entire knowledge, you need to have that expertise, and to build that expertise, you need to have experience. So at that point of time, I was hardly, I was having hardly 1 or 2 years of experience. So though I can gain the knowledge on that domain by reading the books or going through the videos or tutorials, but until and unless you have that experience, you are going to struggle a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And experience is very important these days. I've
Yes.
noticed.
Yes.
One thing I do want to note, did you use this word? So we pronounce it a little better as expertise.
Expertise. Okay.
Expertise, yes. I know it does look like expertise.
Yeah, most
It
of the
does look like
people
that.
I have heard of saying expertise. Yeah.
Expertise. Actually, we usually say you need to have the expertise. The
Expertise.
expertise.
Okay.
Perfect. English does not make sense. Sometimes it will say
Yes.
one thing,
That's the
but
reason people struggle to learn this.
exactly, it's spelled one way, but they want to pronounce it a different way.
Yes.
All right, let's start off by asking for solutions or to ask for an explanation for something. Um, Here we have various scenarios or situations, and I want you to make me a question on how you would ask somebody to explain each of these things.
Okay.
So, for example, to reboot your computer, I could ask, what can I do to reboot my computer? As an example.
Okay.
Can you do number two?
Yeah. Installing a new program. So here, how can you ask about installing a new program? Mm, if you're having any issue with this version, can you try installing the new program?
Okay, excellent. So actually, I want you to, very good question, but I want you to, so for example, if you know nothing about installing the new program,
Okay.
how would you ask somebody how to do it?
Well, so I think you can check it out what is causing the issue and find out a solution from the Google. You can
Mm-hmm.
just paste the error message that you are seeing and try to get the steps.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Google is this, it's our hero.
Yeah,
Everything.
father of knowledge. Yeah.
Exactly, it is. You don't know anything, just Google it. It's
Yes,
all you need.
absolutely true. For me,
Um,
I first go for YouTube rather than
really,
reading. I try watching something that is even
me as
more
well.
faster.
I'm a very visual person, so if I see it, I understand better than. And reading is a bit boring
Yes, same
to
here.
do.
Same here. So
Number three, how
you use the word something visualized person, right?
I'm a very visual person.
Visual
Visual,
person. Okay,
hmm
visual person.
which means I prefer to just see.
Yes, yes, yes.
Um,
I was
can
hunting
you
for
give?
this kind of
Uh-huh.
word because I have a learning attitude, and whatever I learn through watching videos. So I
Mhm.
think this word will help me to express myself.
We also get people who are auditory people,
Yes,
and those are people who learn by listening
or reading
as well,
maybe.
or auditory, more listening. I'm
Listening.
not
Yeah.
exactly sure what reading the word is. Maybe a very, you could say, a literate person. I don't know. But yes, usually visual and auditory, they go
Visual.
together
Yeah.
usually. So seeing and listening is how I learn
Yes.
usually.
Yeah.
Let's do number 3. So changing a tire. How would you ask me for an explanation on this?
Okay, changing it. I mean, would you mind going through the manual how to change the tire?
Perfect. So would you mind going through the manual on how to change a tire?
On how to change it. Okay.
So could you mind going through the manual on how to change the tire? Right.
Yes.
Perfect question. And number 4, reducing delays on a project. How would you ask me?
Okay. So could you please stretch a bit over the weekend so that we can reduce the delays on this project?
Hey, very well done. You're very creative. I like that.
Thank you.
Also, if you want to specifically ask more directly, you could say, do you see a possible solution to maybe reduce some of these delays? Okay. Yes, so yours was very good. I like it because it was more indirect. Usually, the more indirect you are, the more polite you sound.
Yes.
As well.
Sometimes diplomatic as well.
Exactly. Some people are too direct. And they seem very rude if they're too direct.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions so far?
No question, Alicia.
Okay. Let's move on to guiding someone through instructions. So you seem like the type of person who's very good at this, giving the guidelines. Usually when we're talking about a process, we use words called ordinals. Okay, so these are words like first, second, now, then, the last step, the first step.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They just tell us in what sequence something should be done.
Yeah.
So let's start with installing a webcam. So I want you to explain it to me, all of the steps, using some of the words in blue.
Okay. Okay. So here the question is, can you explain how to install a webcam, paint your bedroom? Okay, these are different questions. So I need to answer how to install a webcam using following words. Okay. First, get out the manual and then try to navigate to the installation section. After that, try to follow the steps. It and then it will ask for next, and you can move until it says accept the license, and the last step is to finish the installation.
Perfect. Very well done. I like how you just skipped all the finer details. Just look at the manual; it's there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even I know now they give wording on the guidelines to follow, and they also give pictures.
Yes.
So it's hard to go wrong.
Yep.
Let's do something a bit different. So painting your room.
Paint your bedroom. Okay. So first of all, check out the colors you have and plan which color will suit on what side of this bedroom. And begin with white color and then we can have other colors on over the white surface so that it will look good. And after that, let it be for some time to dry it out. And I think that's it. I don't
It's very
find
good.
anything.
A very good explanation. One thing I want to note, the last sentence you mentioned, just to structure it a bit better, we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
say,
yes.
let
Let
it
it dry.
dry
Also.
for
Yeah,
some time.
yeah, cool.
Okay.
Even I was not comfortable with the last thing. Yeah, I missed it. I know.
All right. It's very good when you notice that
Yeah.
something's not right. That's
Yes.
excellent. A lot of people don't notice. So let's do one more. So this is baking. I hate, well, I like baking. I hate cooking. um,
Okay.
but making a chocolate cake.
Making a chocolate cake. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you're planning to make a chocolate cake, first you need to find out the ingredients required to make the cake, and
Mhm.
then just check it out the steps from YouTube or somewhere,
Mhm.
and after that follow the steps,
Mhm.
and the last step would be bake it for some time, and enjoy your chocolate cake.
Exactly. Very good. In terms of baking or cooking, the steps that are written down for you to follow, we call it the recipe.
Follow the recipe. Yes,
Mhm.
cool.
So the recipe is like the cooking guidelines
Cooking
on how
guidelines.
to
Correct.
make that food.
Yes.
Um, are you a good cook, Dorika?
Manageable.
All right, manageable. I'm
At least
terrible.
I'm sure
So.
that I can have my food. I will not have any taste issue. I'm not
All right.
I'm not sure about others, but I will enjoy the food that I have cooked.
Okay, then you must be good
Yeah.
because I don't enjoy my food, so I know it's bad. What is your favorite food?
So in India we usually have rice and roti.
Mm-hmm.
So I like rice. So I mean I'm born and brought up eating rice, and I enjoy eating rice or biryani. If you are aware of biryani, then are you
Oh,
aware of
yeah, of
that?
course.
Yeah.
I am Hindu, Dorika.
Okay. Yeah, I
But I
was
am
about
from.
to ask you that. I got
I'm
some
Hindu.
Indian flavor.
Oh, you've noticed, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but I'm from South Africa. So here, there's a lot of Indians in South
So
Africa.
are you from
Um,
Durban?
yes. Huh? Can you?
Are you from Durban, South
Durban,
Africa?
yes.
Okay. I met many
Do
of the
you know?
tutors from Durban, so I'm not sure how. I mean, why there are a lot of tutors from only one city in Rosetta Stone. Any specific
Maybe.
region?
I'm not sure. I know there are some tutors in Johannesburg and Cape Town and
Yeah,
other
yeah.
cities, but maybe the most are from here.
Yeah, I mean, in last
Maybe.
10 session, I met around 5 to 6 tutors. They are from Durban. So I got to know about the culture of South Africa as well as Durban.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
I actually, you were talking about biryani. I had it yesterday, I
well,
think.
great. Yeah, yeah, the same thing they were
Uh,
mentioning. Like, you will find a lot of Indian restaurant or Indian cuisine in Durban, and people like spicy foods. Yeah,
yeah, I love spicy food,
yeah.
but I cannot cook it, so it's sad. um, let's move on to using the right verb for different situations. So, whether you're explaining something or giving an order or forbidding something, you need to make sure that you're using the correct verbs
Okay.
for the sentence. So, to explain, usually we use the imperative form. So, imperative form is like the command form of a sentence, giving an order or giving a command
Yes.
for something. So we usually, for example, click on the enter button and then click the option. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you make me another sentence in the imperative form to explain something?
Click on the introduction and check the option. Check the fuel indicator of your vehicle and then take a decision whether to go for a long drive or not.
Perfect. So if imperative, it's very direct, very straight to the point. Yes.
Yeah.
Well done. Usually to suggest, we use the verb should. So you should reboot your computer.
Yes.
Can you give me another suggestion?
You should utilize this COVID lockdown time to improve your English. That's what I am doing right now.
Of course, a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah.
It's good to be productive.
Yes.
To oblige, so for here we use must because you have to do it.
Yeah.
So you must reinstall the application, otherwise it won't work.
Okay.
Can you make me another?
Yeah. You must go to school regularly. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. You must. Yes, if you want to have good knowledge.
Yeah. Yes.
Education is important.
Yes.
Let's do number 4. So to describe something, we could use will. So the installation wizard will guide you through.
Okay. If you work hard, then you will get a job.
Excellent, you will. Yes. It's describing what would happen if you work hard.
Yes.
And number 5, to forbid is must not. So you mustn't or you must not save your files on your hard disk.
You must not spend more time watching TV.
So rather than say more time, you can say you must not spend too much time.
Too much time. Okay.
Watching TV. Yes. So you must not spend. You could say more. It's not grammatically incorrect, but usually we say you must spend more time.
Yeah.
If we've spoke about it before.
Yeah, it sounds better. I mean.
Mm-hmm. So you must not spend too much time
watching TV.
Watching TV. Perfect. How much time do you spend watching TV?
I don't even watch TV.
Me too. I'm on Netflix usually most of the time.
So I'm on YouTube.
If
YouTube is with me, I can survive and as much as I can.
Yeah, me too. All I need is my phone and some good snacks, and I could be good for many hours.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions here?
No, Alicia, no question.
Okay, you're doing very well so far.
Thank you.
Let's move on to proposing or suggesting something. So how could you propose to restart the machine? How would you suggest to me to do this?
Well, if you're facing an issue, would you please try restarting the machine?
Okay, perfect. So usually when we're proposing or suggesting, we could use phrases like, maybe you should, why don't you, or how about doing something. So these are some common ways. Yours was correct, but these are just other common ways to suggest something.
Yeah.
How would you suggest to me to uninstall and reinstall a program?
Maybe you should try uninstalling and reinstalling a program.
Excellent. Maybe you should. Well done. Number 3.
Taking a car to a mechanic. Why don't you take your car to a mechanic?
Perfect. Yeah. So I could say, oh, my car is giving me problems, or my engine is making a very funny sound. You could say,
yes.
Why don't you try taking it to a mechanic, or why don't you take it to a mechanic?
Yeah.
Well done. Um, what about advice? So, are you good at giving advice?
I feel so, but I'm not sure. I mean, advice is one such thing, you cannot give advice to anyone you meet or anyone who is near to you. I think
Mhm.
we need to have that kind of relationship to advise someone. I mean, he shouldn't
Mhm.
take it the other way around.
Exactly. A
Yeah,
lot of the times there's misunderstanding.
misunderstanding
If
and ego problem comes out.
exactly, people have too much pride, I would say.
Yes, yes.
Um, so, do you know anybody in your life who is very bad at giving suggestions or giving advice?
No,
Okay, nobody bad.
nobody.
Many of my family members are terrible at giving advice.
Okay,
I know because I took their advice and it didn't go well
go
every time.
well.
So now I just ignore them usually.
Yes, you have the
Um,
genuine reason.
yes, exactly. They get angry. They say, "No, listen to me. My advice is good. I listened to you the last time, and it went downhill. So
Yeah, true.
I'm not going to listen again." Um, let's move on to giving technical explanations. So, um, in your job or in your life, in what situations do you have to give technical explanations?
Well, so when I'm working as an individual contributor in a team of 30 to 35 team members. So whenever we hire someone who is new to this technique at that time, many of us has to spend something with the new joinee to explain the technical things that we are doing right now and what is expected from him or her in this project. So quite often,
Ex-
every couple of months we have a iteration.
and whom do you usually give these explanations to?
To new hire, to a new
Okay,
hire. Yeah.
all right. And when giving your technical explanations, what should you avoid doing?
We should avoid getting into personal thing. It has to be a very professional way, and
Mhm.
we should have a proper agenda of the meeting, and we must not do anything that is irrelevant of the agenda.
Exactly. Yes. Also, if you're giving advice to a very novice person, so a very person that's an amateur, they don't really know too much. Try to use very don't use very technical jargon.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they won't know what you're talking about.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So a novice is just a first timer or a rookie or an amateur.
Yes,
Another word is like a rookie.
rookie, correct.
A rookie, yes. Um, all right, and what is most important when you're giving these technical explanations?
Well, as I said, I think we should have proper agenda, and the person whom we are giving in the technical explanation, he should have some idea what the session is going to be, and it has to be very precise way so that whatever we are delivering, at least he gets 80 to 90% out of it.
Exactly, yes. So also you need to make sure that you're well summarized as well. I know a lot of people just go on and with a
Yes,
lot of details.
yes,
It's hard to remember all of them, but if you say the same thing in half the number of words,
yes,
it's easier to remember.
yes.
Um, all right, so let's move on to simplifying. Okay, so in order to summarize well, You need to be able to simplify longer sentences as much as you can. So here, I just want you to match the expression on the left with the simplified form on the right.
Okay.
All right, so number one.
A small number of a few.
Perfect, a few. Number two.
As a result of after.
Okay, so as a result of something. So usually we're giving the reason for something.
Okay.
Perfect. That would be because. So because of something or as a result of something.
Yes, correct. Because. Yeah. Following each after.
Perfect. That would be after.
Take into consideration. Consider.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, the great majority of, we can replace with most.
With most. Perfect. So a lot of people try to be too technical or they want to seem really, really smart. So they use a lot of words.
Yes.
But using simple words is not a crime. Okay.
Yeah.
You're still getting the same explanation and it's better for the listener as well.
Yeah.
So let's look at some of these expressions and I want you to shorten them for me. So number one, how could we shorten this phrase?
Made arrangements of. How could you shorten the following pages? Made arrangements for. Arrange.
Very good, but remember we're using made.
Okay.
So it would need to be in past then. So you are correct. So we would say I arranged.
Arranged. Correct.
Perfect. Number two. So
made the decision. Decided.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Decided. Number three.
Made the measurement. Measure.
Measured. Okay, very good.
This result would seem to indicate. It indicates.
Perfect. So it indicates, yes. Or you could even say this result indicates if you want to be more specific. But yes, it indicates. It's very nicely summarized. So what can you conclude from this exercise?
What do you conclude from this short exercise? Short exercise in the sense from this session or from this slide?
From this slide. So what can you conclude?
So we can conclude. We concluded that, I mean, we can use the shorter form of vocabularies rather than in a sentence manner, using it in a sentence manner.
And why is this good to be short?
It becomes precise and it saves your time.
Exactly. It saves your time and it's also good for the understanding and memorization of the other person as well.
Yes.
So specifically, you could say when giving technical information, try to be very summarized, very short, concise, so that the person understands better. It's easier to memorize.
Yeah.
Especially if there's like 20 steps to follow.
Yes.
Try to be very, very summarized and concise. Any questions so far?
No question, Alice.
All right, let's move on to reassuring somebody. So if I want to reassure somebody about the simplicity of a task, what could I say to them to reassure them that it's simple?
What are the ways you can reassure someone about the simplicity of the task?
right, you're back. Sorry, you
Yeah,
froze for a while.
yeah. I think I had a network connectivity issue.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Um, so simplicity of a task, how would you reassure me